But even the tradition that we quote unquote stand on, that's not ours either. That if you are a descendant of slaves, your moral fabric was forced upon you. What you measure men and women by was forced on you. The notion that you had of village, of being communal, of collectively raising the kids in your village, of there being no separation of powers between men and women, but instead a recognition of a difference in power, that's tradition that you had.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB Flair. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got tonight's conversation, man. We got a good conversation, man. That this brother, man, he is one intellectual brother, man. You know, I would hate to get in debate with him, man. But like I said, he's a very smart intellectual brother. But what he's talking about right here, man, you know, it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. I couldn't even disagree with it, right? I couldn't even disagree with it. But to kind of give you an insight, right? People understand, right? Understand that, hey, man, this brother has said himself that, hey, man, look, he like some of his women with a little bit of mileage on him, right? You know, that was one thing where I said, brother, okay, so you're that type of brother, okay. Now, some people gonna be like, what that supposed to mean, right? That type of brother is pretty much just somebody, man, who's just carefree living, right? You know, hey, I'm cool with having a girl who's ran through. Most of your men are not. Most of your men are not going to take a woman who's ran through. I mean, just point blank, period. And it's not to sit over here and say that, you know, he's some imp or whatever. You know, I'm just letting you know the type of person that he is. Any guy who says some shit like that, I'm going to look at you. I'm going to give you a side eye. I'm like, okay, yeah. He's that carefree type of living guy, right? He's that carefree type of living guy. Now, is that to say he's a simp? No, right? But once again, carefree living guy, and it's just to give you a perspective on him, right? So, like I said, but at the end of the day, he's a very, 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 very intellectual guy. He makes a lot of sense on damn near everything that he says, right? So he brings this up, right? And you know, when I watched the video the first time, I was all over the place. But then as I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, and now I'm understanding what he's saying, right? Sometimes there's some videos, man, that you just gotta sit on it, right? So, you know, for me, you know, sometimes I have to sit on it to actually understand it. And I understand what he's saying. And just to kind of sum it up, he's just for me, right? And maybe you guys can, you know, if y'all have a better understanding, maybe you guys can leave me a comment down below and let me know, man, how y'all interpret what he is saying. But what he is saying, in my opinion, is, and I talked to my mother about it too, right? And she brought up a great point, but we're gonna get into it. But pretty much he's saying, man, that hey, you know, we have this gender war, right? We have these roles that a lot of women do not like, right? But here's the thing, right? We always talk about traditional women, we talk about traditional men, we talk about traditional relationships, but understand that these traditional roles that we're hollering and screaming about, these roles dates back to who? Dates back to these folk. You know, so that's just to sum it up, right? That's just to sum it up, man. But he's gonna break it down, man, and you know, I'm gonna pretty much respond to it, man, because like I said, man, he makes a pretty good point. But before we get into that, man, do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe.
And I think us as black people have to genuinely start questioning where our ideas come from. But even the tradition that we quote unquote stand on, that's not ours either. That if you are a descendant of slaves, your moral fabric was forced upon you. What you measure men and women by was forced on you. The notion that you had of village, of being communal, of collectively raising the kids in your village, of there being no separation of powers between men and women, but instead a recognition of a difference in power, that's tradition that you had. This notion that a man is above and superior, this notion that a woman is supposed to be docile and meek and only make a home, bro, that don't belong to you. That man, woman, a gender non-conforming, I don't care who subscribed to it, and I'm not telling you you can't. But if we're ever going to move past what it's doing to us, then you gotta be honest about where you got.
Now, he says, like I said, man, it's very beautiful. He broke that shit down, right? Now, he says you gotta understand where you got it from, right? Now, once again, a lot of these traditional roles, we did get it from who, right? We did get it from, some of these. We did get it from these people. But understand, man, that even before then, before then, we've always wanted, right? We've always had traditional roles, right? That's the thing about it. We've always had traditional roles. That'll be my only bite back on this, that we've always had traditional roles, right? We've always had gender roles. Women always understood and men always understood the roles. No matter where you go, they always understand the role. When you look at Asians, right? When you look at Koreans, when you look at Indians, a lot of these cultures, a lot of these religions, a lot of these countries, right? A lot of these different countries, they all live by a certain code, right? They all live by a certain code, and universally, right? Universally, we all know a family is a thriving family, and a man is always working, and a woman is a caretaker, is a nurturer. We know this. Right? We know this. Now, like I said, I get what he's saying, right? And I agree with him. But at the same time, this shit stems further back than that. And it stems, and it does not just mean just for us, right? Because once again, it does not mean just for us. When you look at these other countries, they have the same traditional roles, right? No matter where you go, the traditional roles will always be the same, right? Now, I understand that as time is going on, time is changing, right? Not many women want to be traditional. And it goes to my point that a lot of you women really want to do the bare minimum. A lot of you women, we're living in a time where women love the bare minimum, right? A lot of you women want to sit over here. You can tell them, hey, man, listen, hey, baby, go make me a hot dog. All right, I just want a hot dog, right? You specifically tell them, just give me a plain hot dog. She brings you back a turkey hot dog with hot sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, and all that crap on there. And you be like, well, damn, baby, I said just a plain hot dog. Well, I know, baby, but I was just thinking about you, and I know that wasn't gonna fill you up. So, here's some of the food, I add something on there for you. I love the gesture, thank you. I love the gesture, thank you. But at the same time, that's not what I asked. I just simply, and a lot of you women, once again, they only want to do what's good for them. Right? Women only want to do what's good for them and what benefits both of y'all or what benefits just them. But they'll never do anything that benefits just that man. Right? And this is, once again, we're seeing this every single day now. We're seeing this every single day. Women do not want to be submissive. Women do not want to be traditional. Understand that the gender war is literally women saying, hey, we just want to do the bare minimum. We do not want to do what you men are requiring us to do. Right? Understand that men never wanted the roles to change. Only women, which is why in the 1840s, women adopted feminism. Right? It was only for white women. It was not for black women. Right? Fast forward, once again, sisters picked up that role, right? Sisters were starting to say, hey, well, you know what? We just want to be men. Listen, we don't want to be submissive. We don't want to be traditional. We want to do the same shit that men are doing. Starting to create dysfunction in the household, right? Understand that, once again, men never wanted their roles to change. Until this very day, our roles has not changed. But women's roles have always changed. The 1840s, women decided to say, hey, we wanted to vote. We wanted we wanted to work. We understand that, right? Everybody was behind that. Come 1960s, where feminism also adopted sex liberation. So now we have a bunch of women who want to be independent, who want to sleep around. You get what I'm saying? Now they want to sit over here and say, hey, well, because they're sleeping around, we want to equally sleep around. We want to sleep around just as much, if not more, right? Now, fast forward, look at the feminism that we have now. Now it's, well, we wanted equality. Now, hell, forget equality. We want more than just equality. And this is why we have this gender war thing, right? Women wanting way more than what they can handle. Women wanting way more than what they should even deserve, right? So, like I said, we can constantly, we can sit here and agree with this brother. And I definitely agree with him. I definitely agree with him. But at the same time, it dates further back than that. If we're going to sit over here and say, well, you know, the traditions that we're dealing with right now are made by these folk, okay, fine. But if we want to say that, we gotta go back even further. And I'm telling you right now, women only want to do the bare minimum. A lot of your sisters want to do the bare minimum right now, right? You got a good some of your sisters who only want to do the bare minimum. They don't want to clean dishes. They don't want to cook. They don't want to do none of that, right? But let's just say we go back even further. That's what women were doing. No matter how far you go back, women were always taking care of the household. Women do not want to do that now. And it's just sad because once again, men are affected by this. Because now divorce rates are high because once again, women. Marriage rates are low because once again, women, right? And once again, men roles have not changed. We just simply want somebody that is compatible. But we can't get somebody that's compatible when once again, all they're doing is distancing themselves from you. When they're sitting over here bringing in bad habits. A lot of your sisters bring in bad habits, right? Because we encourage poor behavior. When you look at Summer Walker, she's constantly deflects. Oh, well, you know, hey, I got this man here, I got this man here. They're pookie here, they're pookie here. Your mom was a pookie, or your mom dated a pookie, your grandma dated a pookie. No accountability. When you sit up here, man, you look at this sister who sat up here and said she rather have a man to give her a child than a man give her a ring than a child. She doesn't even want the man at all. She just wants the child.
Fucking with somebody else, then that's not the one for you.
Right.
But what's your end goals? Like, what do y'all want to be? Do you guys want to be somebody's wife? What do you want to be?
Yeah, see, we talk about that all the time on the show. Sometimes I don't really know if I necessarily want to get married.
Do you want to have kids?
I do want to have kids, but I'm not sure if I want to get married.
So why do you... This is my question.
Okay.
Why... Do you want to have kids?
Hell no! She always say she don't want to have kids.
We gonna drink. I got too much shit to do. But why? Okay, so you don't want to have kids. So, okay, you a different story. But you...
Okay.
You want to have kids, but you don't know if you want to get married. So that means that you already going to be... You're planning to already bring this child into... And have a deficit in their life, right?
I mean, I feel like if I find the right person, we could get married. Sometimes I don't really have a lot of faith in these niggas.
But do you have to find the right person to have the baby?
I do think I have to find the right person to have a kid, but I also feel like I'm in a position where I'm doing things for my own, so I would completely be okay with having to take on that responsibility by myself as far as financial shit go, if I have to.
I don't think that's okay.
I don't think it's okay neither, but I feel like it's the reality of like the generation that we live in, because I just feel like that's how most of these niggas are. I do.
No, those are the niggas that you going after. You got to find somebody that's going to...
But I don't really be going after nobody. It be the people that be coming after me. I don't go.
And then you sit here, you gotta be like, okay, like I said, if we're going to try to date back and say the traditional roles now that we're trying to get, well, you know what, hey, that was started by this man. Well, what roles, what are they encouraging now? Right? Look, what roles are women having now? Now more than ever, you see way more women rather be single parents, be a single mother and raise a Pookie and Ray Ray than be in a two-parent household and raise an educated child. Right? An educated child that has some goals and aspirations. But once again, the same women who say, well, you know, look at these men that want to sit over here and just sleep around and not do anything with their lives. Like, we don't want to come home to that. Like, we don't want to do that. You know, these are the same men that you're raising, right? Understand that. These same men that are bums, that are sleeping on couches, that have no ambition, that are just thugs and pookies and ray-rays, understand that these same men are coming from single-parent households ran by who? Women. So like I said, when you sit up here, man, we can sit up here and we can say, hey, man, look, he is right. But understand, women, a lot of y'all only want to do the bare minimum. Understand that if we go way back further than slavery, women were still doing the same thing that we're complaining about now. So what changes are we really going to make? So we have this, you know, we have this notion that there's a gender war, right? And pretty much part of the title of this video. You have gender wars, right? Gender war is pretty much, man, men versus women, and pretty much saying, hey, well, these are my roles and these are your roles. But people understand that men never fought to have different gender roles, and our roles are 10 times harder than women. But you still don't hear a man sitting here saying, well, I cannot keep freaking protecting my girlfriend every time. I cannot keep protecting the household every time. I cannot keep providing for the household every time, right? I can't keep sitting over here, man, trying to freaking sexually please my girlfriend every single time. I can't carry. I can't freaking constantly keep going out working and put my body, through hell and back, just to provide for my family. I can't keep doing that. You will never hear men saying that. Even since the beginning of time, women had it way easier than men. Men had to go out, go work, building. Men, a lot of your men were really in construction. So they sit over here, man, a lot of them losing their lives, a lot of them losing limbs. We're just gonna sit over here, like I said, and once again, we're gonna have women who sit up here and say, well, men have it way easier than women. No, we do not. Right? No, we do not. But once again, men always have to provide. Men always have to put forth the most. So when we talk about this gender war crap, it's just like, once again, this gender war crap is started by who? Women. Because let's go ahead and go down the list. In 1840s, feminism started, where women were saying, hey, we want to be able to vote, we want to be able to work just like the men, we want to be able to bring a second income into the household. You had other men who were agreeing with that. Hey, cool, let's allow that to slide. We allow that to slide. Now, people, understand, now I'm gonna correlate this, right? Now, he's saying, understand the tradition that we are getting this stuff from. Now, like I said, when you sitting up here, man, come the 1960s, right? Mind you, I was talking to my mother about this stuff. She's saying, once 1960 came in, black women decided to adopt feminism, right? Which is true. In 1960s, black women adopted feminism, right? Black women, the family, the household, they was thriving before white women were sitting over here saying, oh, well, you know what, hey, well, we want equal rights, we want this, we want that. Black women weren't complaining about that. Black women were chilling, minding their business. And once again, here comes Becky and her people. Oh, well, hey, black women, y'all come over here and come, we all need to be working. We all need to be having equal rights, yada, yada, yada. So now we're starting to disgruntle the family. But like I said, before that, before segregation, before all of that, right? Hell, even during the Jim Crow era, we were tight knit. So even before we started to pick up traditions from these people, women understood their roles, men understood the roles. It's just not until women start to say, you know what, hey, we want to start becoming equal to men, right? Now, mind y'all, slavery didn't end until what, right? Feminism started well before slavery ended. Feminism started before slavery ended. Now, understand, feminism was not for our sisters. Now, you got women over there agreeing to the brother and everything. Agree, right? But once again, these are gonna be the same sisters, man, right? They'll sit over here, once again, bare minimum. Oh, I don't wanna do this, I don't wanna do that, I don't wanna do this, I don't wanna do that. You have Becky coming over here saying, hey, well, guess what? Hey, we wanna do the bare minimum too. But guess what? We want to have it our way. We should be able to have it our way. So now, once again, you're bringing these sisters over here where they're just minding their business. We're thriving, right? We're thriving. They come over here, come fuck some shit up, right? Now, sisters are sitting over here saying, well, you know what? I want to be independent. Well, you know what? Hey, well, this man, he get to do this, he get to do this, he get to do this. Why I can't do this, right? And now roles are starting to change. Right? And guys are just wanting to go back to that traditional role. And he's saying, well, listen, y'all want to go back to the traditional role, understand where it's coming from. And like I said, I understand where it's coming from. But look, if we're going to, like you said, you got to dot it back to where it originally came from. So men sitting over here telling women to clean the dishes. Women do not like that. Men sitting over here telling women to clean up the room, clean up the house. Women do not like that, and they always try to use that extreme that, men just want to mope around, just constantly work, and we work just as long as them, but they don't do nothing around the house, and we do everything. No man is ever saying that, but women want to bring that up, and women want to use that and say, hey, well, men do not want to, move no weight around this household. False. Women, a lot of your sisters want to do the bare minimum. And that's essentially what all of those sisters in the crowd definitely agreeing with. Yes. And then once again, what he's saying is true. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of your sisters want to do the bare minimum. So if we're going to date, we're going to dot back to, well, you know what? Hey, well, the white man wants you to clean the dishes. The white man wants you to, clean the room. The white man wants you to do this. The white man pretty much wants you to be a slave. Okay, fine. But like I said, listen, and y'all want to go back to the old roots, right? Like I said, he's saying you need to take it back. We need to take it back even further. We need to take it back even further, than us actually picking up the roles and or the feminism and the traditional ways that a man and a woman should be having. Date back when we were in Africa. When we were in Africa, women and men understood the roles. Let's keep going back even further, right? Once again, women are sitting over here agreeing with this, man. Oh yeah, and I'm telling you, a lot of those sisters are saying, man, look, man, we don't want to have none of this gender role bullshit, right? But it's like, okay, fine. But you do understand, if we even dated back further than slavery, date back further than freaking slavery, understand that men had multiple wives. Men had multiple wives. If we're going to keep dating this, if we're going to keep going back further, men have multiple wives. But hey, women won't be sitting over here agreeing with that though. Women will not agree with that. Women definitely stayed in the household. Women definitely stayed in the household, taking care of those children. Now, mind you, guys, we are in Africa. We're not in the United States. We're in Africa. We had to hunt food. We had to go out here. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Men had to go out there and go hunt. Had to go bring the food into the household. Right? Guess what the women were doing? They were cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children and teaching the children the ways of how to become a man or how to become a woman. Right? Teaching the kids their ways. This is the same thing that women were trying to get away from in the first place. Now we're sitting over here having tons of women saying, oh, well, I definitely agree. Right? And I'm telling you right now, a lot of those women are agreeing because, hey, they don't want to have to deal with that gender role crap. They don't want to have to, once again, a lot of your sisters want to push the bare minimum. The bare minimum, which is the biggest reason why we have this shit called the gender wars. Because once again, men have never wanted to change their roles. Because number one, that's just our job. That's our job. But hey, guess what? For women, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. A man should be able to do that. A man should be able to do this. We both got hands, we both got feet. But like I said, right, we're going to sit here, like I said, agree with this all day. But if you're going to agree with that, definitely, and you want to make a change, right? You want to make a change. You don't want to have to conform to these type of gender roles that we're already, these traditional gender roles that, is pushed by the white man. Then women, are you willing to be okay with a man having multiple wives? Are you still okay with still being in the kitchen and cleaning up? Because obviously that's the reason why we're here in the first place, because y'all have issues with that. So once again, if we just go take it back before slavery, that's what y'all were going to be doing anyway. So like I said, man, why are we arguing about something, man, that, like I said, women just want to do the bare minimum. Gender wars is started by women. Sisters sat up here, man, and decided to adopt feminism. Before black women decided to adopt feminism, we were thriving. We didn't have any of these issues. Then next thing you know, Becky came over here and said, hey, man, look, y'all are oppressed just like us. Y'all come over here and y'all come kick it with us, man. Now you're dividing the households, right? Now you're dividing the households. Now we're having more single mothers than ever, right? And the same sisters that sit up here and bitch, cry, and complain about these black men are the same ones that are raising these black men, right? Have you ever noticed that all these black women that bitch, cry, and complain about these black men are the same ones that are raising these same little boys? These men are raised by the same women. It's crazy. It's crazy. But once again, we can sit over here and talk about gender roles all day. We can sit over here and talk about gender roles and gender wars all day. But once again, it's women who made that change. Sisters, y'all made that change. What y'all do me, you say, man, leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe.